Welcome back to another episode of Sip the Tally Films. And today I'm going to be grading our draft class. And doing it in the class today because I obviously have stuff to do after work. And probably wouldn't be able to get you a film from the normal studio setup. So let's just kind of go through the picks and what I think the grade should be. Then we'll give the draft class an overall grade. So first up is Rashad Bateman. I think we knocked it out the park with Rashad Bateman, getting a guy that can help the offense flourish, can help the offense evolve. And without going into too many details, I think he's one of the 5 or 6 guys in the draft that can help us do that. Three of the guys I think were not even possible for us to get, being Waddle, Chase, and Smith. I thought Marshall was one of those guys. He went later. I thought Bateman was one of those guys. We got Bateman. And I had another name. I can't remember. It wasn't Tony. But it was somebody else that I had in mind, but I drew a blank. But again, the draft grade for Bateman's pick is an A. I got A+ actually. All right, the second pick, which was still in the first round, pick 31, outside linebacker. Well, at the time it was Jason Oweh, but now it's I don't want to mess this up, so we're just gonna say Oweh. And I got D right there. And most of you know I wasn't happy with this pick, but and I didn't give it an F because of his physical abilities, how fast he is, how big he is, how powerful he could be. And this pick just has to grow on me. I'm not. He's on the Ravens now, so I'm not going to continue to necessarily be negative and bash, but he just has to grow on me, and and he has the physical attributes to be dominant. He does. Call a spade a spade. He got the physical attributes to be a dominant force, as fast as he is, as big as he is, as powerful as he is. I just need to sit on the field. And just him not doing, like the 0 sacks, that don't bother me. Because that bothers people that don't watch film. But I watch film on him, and he wasn't disruptive versus the best team in their conference, which was Ohio State. And that's what bothered me. And it still bothers me. He was disruptive versus everybody else, just not the best team in the conference. And I understand if your team is not as good, but if you're a first-round pick, you should at least make some kind of plays. And it'd be different if they were reading you every play and reacting to what you do, but that was not the case. That was not the case. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at that Ohio State tape. But I got a D for this grade. All right, third round. Third round, pick number 94, pick guard Ben Cleveland. I love this pick. Got it down for an A. I love it. Love it. Some of the stuff he did in the SEC, I think translates to what we do in our run game. And based off what I saw on his tape, he could possibly be our second best pass blocker right now behind Stanley. He could possibly be our second best pass blocker right now, May 4th, behind Ronnie Stanley. And he demolishes guys, once when he gets leverage and stuff like that. So I like that pick with Ben Cleveland from Georgia. All right, pick number 4, third round again, pick 104. We picked cornerback Brandon Stevens. Make sure I said that right. Yeah, Brandon Stevens. And so Brandon has only been playing DB for 2 years. He started at UCLA as a running back, then transferred to SMU, and then once he transferred, that's when he moved to DB. He's a project. He's a project pick. And if he gets in the room and learns from probably the best secondary in football, he could, make his way to be the third or fourth corner. Could be. But I got a D for this pick because it's a project. And it could go up because when you really, grade draft 2 or 3 years down the line, but me doing this kind of right now is just based off projection. So I got him for a D. Could be a C. Probably should have been a C, but I got him for a D because I think he's a project, especially with the fact he's only been playing DB for 2 years. It's kind of like Rousseau. You know, whoever picked Rousseau has only been playing defensive end for 2 years. Rousseau was a receiver and a DB in high school. So let's move on to the next pick. That was 104. So the next one was 131, Tylen Wallace, a receiver from Oklahoma State. I really love this pick. I know it gives you another guy outside that can win some jump balls, that can be solid in the pass game, especially if injuries or something like that happen. Hard worker, blocks, and in my top 9, he was not in the top 9, but he was numbered. He was an honorable mention, so I think that put him at 10 or 11. I think I had 2 honorable mentions. I don't know which one he was. So he would have been 10 or 11. So you're looking at, we got, from my list, my personal list, we got the 4th best receiver, because Bateman was my number 4 receiver. And we got, let's say the 11th, because I can't remember the order, the 11th best receiver in the draft, which is, in my opinion, good for us. And I gave this pick a B. Next, 5th round, pick 160. We had 5 picks in the 5th round. Shaun Wade from Ohio State, DB, Jacksonville, Florida. And a quick list story, I got a victory versus Shaun Wade my first year here. But their team was stacked, and we were lucky, as you know what, to get that victory. I think it's a great pick. I do. I think he's going to come in and actually be better than Brandon Stevens. Wade played a lot of big-time ball, was great inside, wasn't as good outside this year, but when he was inside the year before, I won't say lockdown, but he was pretty darn good in there. And, you know, he can come in and possibly be Tavon's replacement if Tavon, you know, can't come back from the injury bug. But if Tavon comes back, when you're looking at another stacked secondary. And we got people in place just in case injuries happen. And we know injuries are part of the game you can't predict. I think we got people in place to keep a high level defense in case injuries happens in that secondary. So I gave that pick a B. Gave Shaun Wade pick a B. The second pick in the 5th round was 171, outside linebacker, Dalen Hayes. I hope I said that right. First name, Dalen Hayes. I really like this pick also. For an edge guy, not many edge guys can cover the way he does. And it has to be some good coaching going on at Notre Dame because they tackle well, him and JOK, and they cover well, both of them. So both of their outside linebackers could cover. JOK could cover like slot receivers for real, and Dalen Hayes was good at spot dropping, getting his hands on the ball, and also like protecting the middle of the field, also getting deflections. So I really like this pick also. I gave this a B. Gave this pick a B. And so moving on to the last pick in the 5th round, which that pretty much ended our day, Ben Mason. They got him as a tight end, but everything I've seen for the most part was fullback-ish or short yardage back-ish. So I'm not really sure what his role is going to be. Like the meme with the Spider-Man, when we picked him, I saw somebody put him and Pat Ricard pointing at each other, the Spider-Man meme. That's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm not really sure why. That I don't understand why. But I don't understand why. Because you got this guy and Pat Ricard. So I don't know if you're planning on moving on from Ricard soon or what's the deal, but I'm just not sure why we got this guy. And, they have a plan, not privy to what that plan is. But I gave that pick a C because we got a bunch of tight ends. Normally you don't have a one fullback on the team if you have one at all, and that's Ricard. And we got tailbacks. So, again, I'm at a loss for words for it, but I gave it a C just off the fact that he runs hard and he can be a short yardage guy if something happened. But JK can do short yardage stuff and Gus can do short yardage stuff. So you want to put a fullback in the game, we got Ricard. But I ain't gonna keep going on about it. But again, and so since I'm in my classroom, we're gonna do the grade like this. We're gonna give it a GPA, so to speak. So you get 4 for A, 3 for B, and what's that? 2 for C and 1 for D. So let's see what we got and give the Ravens their GPA for this draft class. We got 4 for Bateman, because that's an A. Got a D for OA, so that's 1. We got 4 for Cleveland, because it's an A. Got a D for Stevens. Got a B for Wallace. I'll change that. Got a B for Wade. So change that. Got a B for Hayes. That. And a C for Mason. That's 2. So let me add these up real quick, and then we get our grade. And I'll get you up out of here. 4. Let me turn this calculator on. 4. I can do this with my head. I don't need the calculator. 8, 10, 13, 19, 21. And how many picks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so if we're gonna do this GPA style, the Ravens got a 2.7 GPA for 2.6 GPA for this draft class, which is average, but those B's could definitely turn into A's, and that D I put in there, those 2 D's I put in there, could definitely turn into B's or C's, depending on what OA turns out to be and what Stevens turns out to be. Stevens and I hadn't been playing a position long enough for me to say this is concrete, and OA is just potential unlimited. But I really like the draft class for the most part. Only pick that I made me mad was OA, but his measurables are off the chain. Can't deny his measurables, so he could be something, especially if we use him right. So pretty much that's it. I like the draft class. I enjoyed it. Gonna get some more film out soon of the draft picks. And I got to look at our list of UDFAs. I know there's one guy we picked up that a lot of people like. I haven't looked at him yet, and his name slips my mind at the time, but I'll definitely get into it, and that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. Then we'll start to get into these concepts and situations where we did good or did bad within the season. We also gonna take a look at last year's draft class and see how they progressed this year. All right, so this is Coach Evans with Untitled Films, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys for being here with me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me.